So we will start this part with working group D, Agrifood System Microbiomes, with Angela Sessitsch, who is head of competence unit at the Austrian Institute of Technology, AIT, Rebecca Stumpf from University of Illinois, and Fanette Fontaine from FAO in the group. I'll let you take the stage.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much for the introduction. It's a great pleasure for me to report on what we have discussed so far in the working group. The current members are Fanette Fontaine from the FAO, Rebecca Stumpf from the University of Illinois, and then several members from the Microbiome Support Association. Let's talk first about what is the agri-food system. So first of all, it comprises primary production, so the production of food ingredients, and of course microbiomes, animal, soil and plant and water microbiomes play a very important role here. Then it's also food processing, food production, how is food produced, and also the way how we treat the environment, the way how we treat the food and the food itself, what are the effects on human health and the environment and animal health. And also it's also about side streams. So are there side products, side streams, byproducts, waste? How can we treat this? So it also includes components of circular economy. Now the different environments of the food system are highly connected. So the way how we treat the environment, the way how we treat food affects greatly food quality, food safety, and also human health. But also beyond the food system, we learned already also today that the different environments are highly connected, and microbiomes are connecting elements between these different environments. So we have a large extent of microbiomes which are transferred and exchanged between different environments. We know this very well from pathogens, we know this very well from antimicrobial resistance genes, but we also have to know that non-pathogenic microorganisms, microbiomes, are exchanged between environments, and that also this exchange has very important consequences on ecosystem functioning and also on the exchange of potential important genes. Now let me say some words about the Microbiome Support Association. Why I'm telling you this? Because the Microbiome Support Association is an important member here of this working group, and also, as you see here, the goals and the aims of the association are very well aligned with what we are aiming at with the World Microbiome Partnership. So this association actually started as a European coordination and support action, and after completion of the CSA, we decided to establish an association, an international association. And the goals of the association are to inspire food system microbiome understanding and to promote science and also innovations, to also act as an interface between different stakeholders, again, to promote research, to promote innovation, and also the application of food system microbiomes. Our aim is also to facilitate international cooperation and the employment of food feed system microbiomes to reach the aims of important policies like SDGs, so to also improve One Health and human well-being. We also aim to provide expert opinions to food system actors, including industry and policymakers, and to promote an early and open dialogue with citizens on benefits and risks of upcoming food system microbiome innovations. The association also organizes a biannual conference on food system microbiomes, and it is about, as I said before, it's about microbiomes in different parts of the food system. So it's not only about food itself, it's also about microbiomes for global health, for climate change mitigation, for circularity, and so forth. So maybe you're still interested, the registration is still open, so I think it could be an interesting conference for many of you. So here you see an overview of the current members of the association. The association is based on institutional membership, and you see here institutions like INRE and JAGAS and CSIC and many others, also international partners like Sion from New Zealand or University of Waterloo in Canada, and we also have several companies as members, like for instance Starfish, who is also represented here today. And of course, so as I said already, the Microbiome Association is an important member of this working group, but of course also Rebecca Fanette and also Caroline Poole from the Penn State University. So we had a number of discussions, what we can do within this working group. And I also have to say, tell you that we had also discussions, I mean, what can we really realistically do? And we were a little bit careful because the working group still has to grow, and we have to, of course, discuss with many other partners, members, and stakeholders. So it's an initial start, and which I would like to present to you. So what we discussed, of course, the first aim is that we have to broaden the group and include more members, especially members coming from different stakeholder groups and also coming from different continents, so that we do not only include one food system. There are many different food systems, and we have to consider that, for instance, I don't know, a diet in Uganda will be different than a diet in the US, for instance. Yeah? So it is a different food system, and we also have to better understand different types of food systems. We thought it would be also good to create a SWOT analysis of maybe microbiome research in general, but especially food system or agri-food system microbiome research, to use this SWOT analysis really as a basis for further recommendations and to define what are really the research needs. An important aim, and I will say a little bit more about this later on, it's, the aim is also to work towards increasing international collaboration and knowledge sharing, especially to create a common understanding when we want to link different, for instance, agro-management practices with microbiome functions and ecosystem sustainability. It will be also important to think about microbiome terminology, to maybe provide more clarity and an internationally uniform use of terms in this field. An additional important point will be to address microbiome preservation, so not only to isolate and preserve individual microbiome members or strains, but really to think about what can be upcoming technology to preserve ex situ whole communities, microbiomes. And also to address the regulatory issues in the agri-food system at a global scale would be an important activity. Now, one thing we thought would be, especially in the beginning, particularly important is to think about international cooperation. And actually, currently, there is a lack of international cooperation, not because different experts do not want to cooperate. There's a lack of funding possibilities. So there's hardly a possibility to do anything because there's hardly any funding. And we would like to go in more depth and really maybe come up with a paper or maybe different papers for different target groups to discuss the benefits of international cooperation, to elaborate a showcase, also to elaborate what does it mean if we don't have this cooperation, what are the economic implications, what are the missing opportunities if we do not cooperate. There's probably a lot of duplication. We also do not bring the different knowledge areas together. So I think there's a lot of lost opportunities here. And also, in line with this, we also would like to map activities on a global level, also to identify gaps and duplications. And here, we consider it also important to address actually different agri-food systems, so different in terms of geography, but also in the socio-economic context. And then I think we heard already a number of very interesting suggestions from the other working groups, and it would be very interesting and important also to interact with the other working groups. But these were just first thoughts, and of course it's also up to you to make suggestions, and let's discuss together. And also it will be important to learn from the World Microbiome Partnership how the World Microbiome Partnership can help us to move forward and to get more the point of view also from the World Microbiome Partnership. And yeah, maybe there is a proposal of additional action points and any other suggestions. And with this, I would like to thank you and look forward to the discussion.
Thank you very much, Angela. Any questions from the room? Yes, you have the microphone.
So Pascal Renfard from Biochar FR, One Health Expertise. So I have one question. I think your approach to break down national barriers are very interesting, but maybe we could implement some other barriers. What I mean with that is that we could look at certain cultures. Vine, for instance, grapes, fruits, vegetables, and to be focused to reach, to have some achievement with the approach of microbiota. We also know that there are root-specific roots, bacteria connected. So yes, is it in line with your ideas, and is it possible to develop this approach?
So your suggestion is to address, to go even, to be even more specific, so not to look at, let's say, certain local agri-food systems, but to go to specific food products.
Yes, to create team groups on specific cultures to be efficient.
And to discuss what exactly?
To discuss the connection and the improvement of the cultures with a specific soil microbiota.
Yeah, of course, this is a good suggestion to be done, yeah.
Okay. So maybe a second question in regards to the carriers that could be used to implement the right microbiota in the soil. So we have technical definition of a good microbiota. How do you implement it, and what is the right carrier to implement it? That could be also a line.
Is the question on inoculation techniques, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think they are part of the application side. Yeah.
So as you understood, the action sessions are really geared to exchange and to collect point of views, information, suggestions. And so this is obviously one option, indirect, as we're doing now. But you can have direct contact with the leads of the work groups and make suggestions at any point in time. And it's also true for you online. And if you want to take part in the developments of any of the working groups that are presented, please also either directly contact them, or better probably use the QR code to let us know about it, and we will connect you.
Maybe Rebecca or Fanette want to add anything?
Please. Can you close
No, it
this
works now.
Yeah, you have it.
I just would add to your point, doing some needs assessments across the globe. What are the concerns of the local populations that can be applied to these different ways of addressing these issues, not only for like soil conditions and particular foods that they are growing, but also what diseases they are impacted by, to do disease mitigation that way that differs across the globe.
Yes, Jim.
So I guess thinking of regenerative agriculture, is that also being promoted within? And a lot of hydroponic agriculture that is now occurring, I know in the Netherlands, for example, on a big scale, is that also incorporated somehow?
Of course, this is an important component of an agri-food system. I mean, it's very specific, but you know, there are different types of systems, right? And any production system can be considered or should be considered. I think there was a point here.
Yes, please.
Well, we've talked a lot about the biodiversity loss, and we know that today the food system is the main driver of biodiversity loss in different ecosystems, the soil, the animal, but also the human microbiome. So, but also this is an opportunity also to have like a leveraging solution to shift this paradigm. So is there any also approach to educational part and raising awareness and transfer to the general public within the working group? Thank you.
I mean, microbiome literacy, I think is very important. The question is, do we have sufficient resources to really work along these lines? Yeah? But I think it's very important. Yeah.
I mean, microbiome literacy linked to this food system, like if we can use this shifts of diets or respecting the different geography and different local diets. We are also seeing this SAD diet, standard American diet, in different geographical areas outside of the US. So, I mean, science-based literacy focus on the food system microbiome for the general public.
No, as I said, I think it would be extremely important, but you need to have resources to do this. I mean, it's a major thing to do, which is usually not within our activities. You also need, you need also funding for doing this, yeah? Because this is a major outreach and, yeah.
Beatrice?
Yes, thank you. I take this opportunity to say that we have been doing an ongoing research about the philosophical and ethical dimension of the science of microbiome, and one of our results is that we found that food has to be also studied with its dimension, human and cultural dimensions, and we are trying to make collaborations with human and social sciences. We are doing this currently, and so it could be studied that maybe we could have some support coming from universities to have work in a working group about the implication of human social studies about food and population concerns.
It could very well connect with the education aspect, actually. And we are in a nice situation because if we recommend microbiome-friendly food, then we are also recommending planetary-friendly agriculture. So it's normally it shouldn't be too complicated to have the right messages conveyed. Fanette, you wanted to?
Yes, I wanted to answer to this. I think it's not only general public, but also the farmers and food industry, and not only the public saying you should eat that or that, but to have an impact on the food system itself, from the farmers to industry and to the consumer, ideally.
You know, as a prescriber of food as medicine.
Of course, yeah. Any more questions? Nothing online? Okay. If not, we will proceed and move to the next presentation. Thank you very much.